Hey everyone, Justin Holland here with the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance. Very excited for another great episode that you're going to be listening to here, either on KTSA online or you're scooting around San Antonio and got the radio blaring. And we're going to yap a little bit about some of the insurance articles that I want to bring out, get some awareness on. But as always, I'm going to have a nonprofit join me on today's show. And this one is a good one, guys. I mean, we've been having great nonprofits help and kind of get some awareness on what they're doing for the community. But what we're going to talk about today is real time going on right now with South Texas. And we got some serious situations from the weather and the weather events. And you're going to learn a little bit more about that here in just a minute with my guest on that. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping on the show. Again, it's the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance. I'm your host, Justin Holland. I have a couple agencies here in town that we focus on insurance. Texas State Insurance Services. Remember, everyone, health insurance for individuals, Medicare, employee benefits, dental, vision, travel insurance, all that good stuff will help you out. 210-880-5316 is our go-to phone number to reach out to us if you need any help with health insurance or benefits. We are here to help you. And I'm going to go over a few articles when we close out the show on what's going on and how we've been able to help people out, especially our local community with some situations there. And then I also want to remind you about Palmetto Life Group that we created, auto and home and commercial lines of business, specifically life insurance, long-term care planning. Don't forget that we are a registered Social Security analyst, so we can help you basically take a snapshot and help you get a head start on preparing for Social Security. If you're not keeping up with the articles and updates that I'm putting out there regarding Social Security, you need to reach out to us and learn more about that. A lot of changes could be coming, and you got to be prepared. You can reach us at Palmetto Life Group at 877-357-5316 or go to our website, palmettolifegroup.com. Last thing before we kick off the show with our guest is I want to remind everybody to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Mad Insurance Show. We're trying to build up the followers there. I've got clips. I've got the full videos of every episode that we've had. So if you wanted to get some details from prior shows or other nonprofits, we've got those listed online for your convenience as well. So without further ado, I am going to kick things off with a great guest that I've got. And it was a short notice guest, and she was a real trooper and said, yeah, you know what, Justin, I can make some stuff happen. Tara Ford, which is the Chief Development Officer for Catholic Charities San Antonio. Tara, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming in. I've got a litany of questions that I'm going to rapid fire and we're going to discuss and probably go on off some tangents on. But Tara, before we even start and even talk about Catholic Charities, coming into the studio, you're like, I grew up right down the street from here.
I
I'd
did.
love to have a little bit of background on you, where you're from, what's going on. You don't have to get too personal, but I think it's important for our audience to kind of know who we're talking to.
Okay. Well, I grew up in San Antonio. Like I said, I was just around the corner in school at St. Thomas More Catholic School and um, really grew up a very happy kid, happy home. I moved to Austin to go to school or college, and my life just kind of changed from there. I met my husband, and with his job, we moved around the country a little bit and feel so very, very blessed to have been able to move back to San Antonio. Home is home no matter what age you are, so it's good to be in this community
I,
again.
I can relate because we were talking a little bit before the show on. I mean, I'm a Texas boy. I grew up in the Rio Grande Valley, and I lived on the east and west coast of the United States, and I couldn't wait to get back.
Same. I
And
mean, you miss HEB and you
oh
miss Big
yes,
Red. Anytime someone took a road trip to us, I was like, "You can come and you can stay here, but you have to bring a case of Big Red."
yes,
So we had Big Red, and our family jokes that, the kids when they were little would ask for some, and I was like, "Is it your birthday?" "No, it is not. We have to conserve the Big Red." So,
I will
yeah.
tell you something that I've learned on the Big Red, and this is totally off subject here, but we're in it, so let's talk about it. Glass bottled Big Red is the best tasting Big Red. Prove me wrong.
Mm.
If you haven't had that in a while,
That's kind of a good point.
it just
It
try
is.
to go find, and you gotta kinda search for it in a convenience store or,
Sure.
obviously HEB's got it, but I'm telling you, the glass bottled Big Red is the way to go, with that. So, you're from San Antonio area, born and raised, did some traveling, families here as well. So, what's important to kinda talk about on this, and then we'll go into Catholic Charities, is, I mean, you've seen this area, this San Antonio, community grow, and you've seen all the challenges
Mhm.
we've had, and I think that's helped, not just being some transplant, so to speak, and don't get me wrong, there's great transplants into organizations, but you've been here from the beginning, and I think it's possibly maybe helped you kinda navigate, the community and what you're trying to do for it.
Sure.
The, next thing I want to talk about, Catholic Charities San Antonio. You guys are right down the street from one of my offices, in San Antonio. Actually, I think you have 2 locations. You got that French place, and then you've got the actual, church location, over by St. Mary's, right? Or am I wrong?
No, actually, we have 11 sites.
You have 11 sites. Okay, I was
Yeah.
way off.
Yeah.
So
We're
let's
all
talk.
over the
I
place.
want to talk about the sites and the reach that you'll have. Let's talk about Catholic Charities. Let's dive into that. Maybe even what brought you there. What enticed you to come in and help them, and then let's talk about what they're doing and what it's all about.
Well, I came to Catholic Charities to start the marketing department. Um, our previous CEO just had really good business sense and said we need a marketing department to kind of put Catholic Charities front of mind in San Antonio, that we're here to help all people, not just Catholics.
Yeah.
It's a calling for me because my family have all been service oriented. So my father worked for Parent Child Incorporated and my grandfather worked for St. Vincent de Paul. And as you look throughout our family, the aunts and the uncles and the cousins, we're all tied to some kind of service. So it's
Okay.
very much so deep in our soul.
Kind of a legacy within the family off of that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So there's that's a good fit, and I'm sure that complements what y'all are doing. Catholic Charities in general. When was it founded, or the organization? Is it a national organization? I kinda need some insight there. Is it
Sure.
local or national or both? Let's dive into the organization itself.
Well, Catholic Charities started in 1941. And it's been adding programs ever since. Today, we serve 200,000 people annually,
Wow.
and we have 45 programs and 11 sites. So it's not only food or community outreach or senior services. We also have legal services, we have counseling services. And as we start to talk about what's going on in our community, I'll expand on why the wraparound is so very important. We serve all people, regardless of race, religion, or national origin. Our goal is to make sure that anybody who arrives on our footstep or who arrives at our mobile fleet is welcomed and cared for. We want to make sure everybody's just in a healthy a state of mind as possible. Um, so, you know, we do have a very wide range of programs, and so I'll be happy to dive into that.
So, let's talk into one of them. You just brought up the legal services. So, I have an employee, and I mentioned that I was gonna have you on the show, and she was like, "Justin, remember they helped me with the legal documents?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right." I mean, I had no idea that y'all would have been able to help facilitate that. And by the way, Lydia is very thankful. Y'all really helped her out to get that lined up. But that's just, you don't know what you don't know. So, I mean, give us an idea of kind of that legal scope. Let's just go down that road for a minute.
So we have Caritas Legal Services, and we have a dedicated team of legal professionals. Our Some of the things that we do are like wills and guardianship. We do also help people with immigration. Our staff is there to guide them so that they are um, equipped to succeed in the United States, and so they walk them through what the process looks like in court, what documents need to be done. We have Ask a Lawyers every single month. It's like a free 3 hour Ask a Lawyer
Really?
anything. And we put that information out on our social media page. We circulate the parishes within San Antonio, but we are also remote. They've had Ask a Lawyer in Del Rio. We have an office in Del Rio as well.
Yeah.
So um, our lawyers are so dedicated to what we do, and their calling is to be there to serve others as
Oh, I'm
well.
sure. I mean, just the legal stuff. I mean, the will, in estate issues when somebody passes away.
Mhm.
Um, you gotta make sure that that's done, and a lot of times it is not, and it's
That is
just
correct.
you've got that loved one, and you can't even mourn your loved one because you're trying to fix and take care of stuff with the state of Texas and all of that other stuff.
It's a big process. We
Oh, yeah.
just got a referral from one of our elected officials of, someone who needed that kind of attention, and our lawyers were able to educate them on this.
Okay,
These are
good.
your next steps. Right now it feels heavy,
Yeah.
and we're here for you, and these are the steps you need to take. So they are wonderful.
So do y'all do workshops on that? I mean, you said to ask a lawyer. So is that just an online feed, or do you actually have an event or like a town hall where people can come in and
That's
stuff?
exactly what it
Okay.
is. So we have an Ask a Lawyer every single month on a Saturday, so people have the opportunity to come in and for 3 hours, come in and talk to our lawyers and say, "This is my issue. What should I do?" And they'll guide at that point, or if it requires more than a 10 or 20 minute
Yeah.
conversation, the discussion will be had to come into our office,
Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I mean
and it's free. Ask a
that's
Lawyer is free.
huge. And we want to decide to mention this earlier before we started recording. Definitely want to make sure we get awareness on where you can find out. The website is catholiccharities.org or
It's a little complicated. It's ccaosa.org, or you can just search Catholic Charities San Antonio, and you should be able to
yeah,
reach
that
us.
should pop up. And some of the domains, hey, that's
Yeah.
out of our control.
Yes.
But yeah, Google on your phone, online Catholic Charities, and you should be able to find that up. I'm gonna pull it up right
So we
now.
are a nationwide network of Catholic Charities offices. So
Okay.
when you search, make sure you're searching San Antonio so that you can get to the services that we are offering here in our community and throughout the 19 counties of our archdiocese as well.
The the Catholic Charities have been serving San Antonio, it looks like for over 100 years.
About
Is
80.
about 80, so
Yeah.
we're closing in on 100.
Yes.
You walked us through a little bit of that kind of range of services, like with the legal. Let's go over a few more services scenarios that people might not be aware of.
So everyone might know us for our food pantry. We do transitional outreach, reaching homeless communities, make sure that on hot days they are cooler with whatever we need to give them, hygiene kits or clothing. And on very, very cold days, we're out with fresh food because we have a mobile relief unit, and that is one
Oh,
of our
yeah.
programs. It is
Y'all
a
fired that up recently.
it's been a while, and it's been dispatched almost everywhere.
Wow.
So that might be one of the more common ways somebody would reach us. But one of the things that we try to do is have a case manager meet with any client that arrives on our doorstep so that they can look at the holistic view of what is going on in that person's life.
Okay.
Could they use an after school program for their kids so they can work until 5 or 5:30? Could they use some tax preparation so they can get their refund so they can fix their car? So it's very much a holistic approach. We have senior programs, we have legal, we have counseling as well, which is becoming increasingly important as mental health is being stretched for various reasons
Oh, yeah.
in our lives. We also have refugee services as well to make sure that they are self sufficient when they arrive in San Antonio. We have workplace development. We have shelters for children, for teen moms and babies, and for moms and babies. So, shelters to just kind of
Grandparents
catch them.
taking care of grandkids.
And that happens.
Yeah.
We have a program called Foster Grandparents that is, it's actually a nationally funded program,
Okay.
and our seniors will go in and assist with at risk youth. But they are also in our Seton home, which is a shelter for pregnant and parenting teen moms and babies. So they will hold the babies and cuddle them and make sure all our babies are taken care of and helping our staff with sitting up and lifting their heads and walking. And the staff and the foster grandparents will work together to make sure mom knows what a healthy mother baby relationship looks like.
Let's go down a tangent that just popped in my head real quick. You talk about the babies. We
Hmm.
come into this world, but we also come out of this world.
Hmm.
Okay. I will tell you, you got vulnerable kids out there and babies and children that need support and help no matter what situation. And a lot of times they weren't able to put themselves in the situation they could be in. But you have older adults and elderly. Do y'all do anything for that community as well?
We do. As I mentioned, we have foster grandparents who come in and they get a stipend and they assist at risk youth. We've also got the retired senior and volunteer program where seniors might be at the end of their careers. They feel fortunate and they volunteer with us to help other
Okay,
seniors.
cool.
But the one that I think everybody should know about is Adopt a Senior. So, um, volunteers are trained and meet with a senior that might be isolated. We want to make sure that their basic needs are taken care of. Our case managers and our other staff with Adopt a Senior will visit and say, okay, we need to get you this and we need to get you that.
Yeah.
And then volunteers will come in and drop off care packages, depending on if it's a holiday or if it's an extremely hot stretch of 100-degree weather, they might drop off a Project Cool free fan for them so that they can remain in their homes. It's so very important to so many of our seniors, but we check in on them, make sure their needs are taken care of, give them some social opportunities. We also host socials with that program every month, and sometimes they're playing bingo, sometimes they're dancing, so it's all the things a senior would love
Very
to do
cool.
in meeting other seniors just like them so that they're not isolated and lonely.
I um I think we could do a better job of a community. I mean, and I'm talking about individuals for that volunteer work. I think so many people underestimate how much they will get out of that,
Mhm,
and realize, God, I wish I would have done this sooner.
mhm.
And we can learn a lot too from our seniors as
Absolutely.
well. I think we can. I mean, I miss my grandparents. I miss the conversations I'd had with my grandmothers. Because listen, this is a generation that went through world wars. Dust bowls. All kinds of crazy stuff. Economically and geopolitically. I just that's a generation that I think we need to be there for. Don't get me wrong. I think that everybody below that generation needs attention too. But I've been in those situations where I'm helping out with Medicare reviews and all of that,
Mhm.
and I'll see it firsthand. And man, so, I mean, it just stops me in my tracks. So if you're listening out, everybody, reach out to Catholic Charity San Antonio when you have a moment. Go look them up online. See the programs that you could possibly get. I mean, listen, donating your money, and monetary donations are great, but also people is a very significant asset, and it looks like we've got opportunities to be able to donate that with y'all's
Absolutely.
organization, which is great. Before I want to go into the next question, is the main number for y'all 210-222-1294?
Correct.
Okay, so that's the direct line number, everybody. So if you, for whatever reason, you can't surf the web right now, you can give Catholic Charities a call at 210-222-1294. And they'd be happy to help. You might want to give or donate, or you might need some help. And you can reach out to them as well and get that assistance you might need with all the programs, really cool programs that y'all have in place. We want to talk about in a minute kind of the real time stuff that you've been working with and dealing with. But I also wanted to know, as far as we talked about senior program immigration, the what does the person look like that comes to y'all's doors? What's that demographic look like?
It's always different.
Okay,
It's always different. So, um, we've had people come into our doors and say, "I've never needed help before, but today I do." Um, it can be one thing that happens in their life that might um, require that they need our assistance. So, for example, we've had a client in the past who was receiving our care 10 years ago. Her kids were little and she put them in the after school program. And she was able to be assisted with, I think, the food pantry as well. And she says, I was good for 10 years. I was stable in employment. I had money, but I was living paycheck to paycheck. The last statistic I heard is that 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So, what put her back in our care is she said that her father passed away and she had to make a decision between paying her rent or burying her father. So sometimes it's your neighbor next door that you don't even know might need some help, but it's one circumstance. It's not a bad decision. She didn't do anything wrong, but she needed our care.
yeah,
So, It can just be one unfortunate circumstance that can put people, in a vulnerable situation, and we're there to help.
And that could be a neighbor, that could be a
It could be
colleague you work
anyone.
with,
Yes, and
I
you don't
mean,
know.
and you have no idea what they're going. I mean,
Correct.
a lot of times, and I'm one of those guys, we kinda keep stuff close to our belt because we don't wanna burden people with
Mhm.
situations, but sometimes we need some guidance, whether that's the
Absolutely.
immigration, the healthcare, the mental health. You just need somebody to talk to,
Our
off of
case
that.
managers, our staff is really, uh, a robust gift.
Yeah.
They are the most compassionate, kind staff, and they will walk somebody through that without judgment. Um, and it's all people. We're not just serving Catholics. We want to be there to help people, and that comes through in the dignity that they're providing to anybody who walks through our doors.
You brought up that 60% number, of those individuals that are living paycheck to paycheck. Listen, that this segues into one of my questions here. The demand for your services across the board. That goes for the food, the shelter, immigration help, mental health. That's growing fast in itself alone. Then you got to face these inflationary costs. And then you have tragedies that hit, Kerrville again and Uvalde again, and it just kind of it's basically doubling down on the already stretched limits. What is Catholic Charities facing right now? Are y'all in a good position? Or the things that the community can help with? I think I think y'all are already doing everything you can in the environment that we're living in. But man, when we have these situations like what just came up last week, what can we do?
Well, there's a lot of ways to get involved. Sometimes we ask for volunteers, and other times we're like, hey, can you drop off brooms and mops? So,
Okay.
we have cleaning items. That is really what is super important right now. Multiple communities across our archdiocese have been impacted by the flooding, and it looks different in every single community. So, on our social media site, Catholic Charities San Antonio, on Facebook. We have a list and a list of things that we need and a way to get help if you're part of that community that needs a little bit of assistance. So, cleaning items are big right now because Kerrville, for instance, there's a layer of mud in so many of the
You
buildings
mentioned that earlier.
within town, not just the ones that impacted down the river. So, this year it was mostly like low water crossings and creeks that overflowed. What we call muck buckets,
Yeah.
with cleaning items are in desperate need.
I mean, the
And
Frio River down in Tilden. I mean, it's just that all that water is finally making its way down there right now. I mean,
Well, I mean, Canyon Lake,
yes,
all the water made its way to Canyon Lake. I don't know how long it took, but a day or two. So, for it to flow into Canyon Lake
finally
that
get
is
in
now
there.
full after a very long
Can
drought
you
for us
believe
in
that?
South Central Texas.
And now we got
So
to talk tropical depression city turning
right
into
now,
Gulf
the
right now.
reports are saying that the rain is gonna be minimal,
Okay,
like,
good.
so we're happy to report that. You just never know what's gonna
Goodness
happen with a
gracious,
natural disaster. For those of us who've grown up in Texas, you know that it's mostly drought
oh yeah,
situations. So for a community to be hit 2 years in a row is
unprecedented.
difficult to see, and we're just trying to get our arms around it so that we make sure that they get what they need to rebuild
If
and have
you're
hope.
if you're wanting to help, Tara and with Catholic Charities, reach out to them. I mean, it's all hands on deck right now for Uvalde and Kerrville. Maybe you're affected by that as well, and you need some help, and you're hearing this show. Let us know. Give us a call at Catholic Charities. Again, that number's 210-222-1294, or just Google Catholic Charities San Antonio and reach out to them and see what they can do to help you out. I'm going to take a quick pause here just for show identification. It's the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance. I'm your host, Justin Holland. I have Chief Development Officer Tara Ford from Catholic Charities joining me. We're basically doing a Q&A and getting some awareness on what Catholic Charities San Antonio is doing for the surrounding area in South Texas. As a reminder, I want to plug our insurance companies and agencies that I have here in town. Texas State Insurance Services. If you need help with individual health, if you need more affordable health insurance options, I can't tell you how many people we help out where the employer sponsored coverage is great. However, it's another mortgage payment to add a spouse or a child on that plan. We've got options for you and really significant good options to consider. So before you go without coverage, give us a call at 210-880-5316. We'll also help you prepare for Medicare, that's coming up later this year. And Palmetto Life Group is our agency that handles auto, home, commercial, life insurance, long term care planning as it relates to retirement, as well as Social Security analysis. Everyone, that number is 877-357-5316, or you can visit us at palmettolifegroup.com. One more thing that I want to remind everybody out, if you're listening to the show and you're fixing to go into an appointment or get out of the car, or you're watching us online, thank you. You can go to our youtube.com/ at Matt Insurance Show to review this show, and say you wanted to learn more about Catholic Charities, because we're going to keep on talking about that here throughout the show. This is our nonprofit segment. Please make sure you go online, like and share, get some awareness. We'll have clips about what Tara and I talked to, so that can share that to the community. As we know, we are in a digital age, and a lot of that information can reach out online and can help significantly. So, without further ado, let's get back on track with the questions that I've got. And I think one of the questions that I wanted to make sure the audience know, and I'm curious as well, federal funding policy changes. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. It's one of the reasons why I have, potential Congress individuals that are going to get elected on the show to address, some of the stuff that we need them to fix. Hopefully, if they get into Washington, but with organizations, without getting political, what is the practical impact Catholic Charities when Washington shifts priorities or cut grants? I mean, that has to affect y'all. It's affected others, I'm assuming, or am I wrong?
Yes, it has impacted us. It impacted us last year. We um, have reduced the staffing for our refugee resettlement services,
Yeah,
um, which is difficult because refugees don't have any control of when they're going to be relocated and which city they may be moved to. It's not like they say, "Oh, I want to move into San Antonio, Texas." So, even when we started to pull back on that program because of funding, our very dedicated employees were volunteering to make sure their clients were taken care of. So, that's the dedication of our staff and what makes our mission so very special. But, you know, groceries are more expensive today as well. So there we are constantly monitoring our environment, and we have a fantastic circle of support, whether someone is a donor, whether they are a corporate sponsor. People reach out to us just as you found us and say, "How can we help you?" So we feel so abundantly blessed that we can continue to live our mission because of those that walk alongside us and serve with us.
I mean, the scale and the reach that y'all are doing with your products and services. I mean, that takes some serious funding, and that can displace. What does the funding picture look like? I mean, are you dependent more? Is it 60% community, 40% grants, 50-50? I'm curious. Do you have any?
It's a lot.
Okay.
We have some federal funding, we have state funding. We have the support of the city and the county as well. We do have foundations, and then of course we have private donors. So we're always working on making sure that there's balance with all of them
Yeah.
because shift funding can shift. There are organizations that might be pulling back on their funding for whatever reason.
Yeah.
The cost of living is really, really high. So, we are always adapting, not just in the services that we're offering, depending on what we're seeing, but also um, on the business that we're running.
Okay.
So we're out in the community. We're meeting people who want to be a part of our mission.
Is there, I wanted to bring this up before I forget to ask, as we have a few more questions. Is there any events or anything coming up? I think you teased me with something coming up maybe this weekend. It might, by the time this airs, the event might already be done. But is there anything coming up that y'all have on the books for the coming weeks or months?
Yes. So we have a wellness fair, back to school wellness fair on this Saturday,
Okay.
the 25th, I believe.
25th. Yeah. Okay.
um, at Guadalupe Community Center. We'll be distributing backpacks and school supplies. There will be some wellness as well.
Okay.
We have 24 partners that will join us that day and make sure that our kiddos get a good start to the school
Yeah.
year. We have literally something going on probably every other week.
Is there a
So,
calendar on y'all's site, to
yes,
review
we'll
that?
be the best way is to really be paying attention to our social media.
Okay,
It
cool.
you could we'll send out a save the date. Don't forget this is happening on such and such date, and this is what will happen that day. And then we put out reminders in the days leading up to that event. So the wellness fair on Saturday at Guadalupe Community Center is a good one for families to stop in and check out.
No, it sounds like it, and y'all do have a Facebook handle, Instagram handle, and y'all are on, YouTube as well
Yes.
that you can find, online as well, but yeah, if you're not following what they're doing in the community, go to those Facebook handles and Instagram handles and take a look at what's going on. I mean, I'm sure y'all it's a good way or great way to get outreach out to everybody quickly and update, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of scroll while you're checking your news and all the other stuff that's going on around
Mhm.
within your family and friends off of that as well. So you want to make sure you're in tune on some of those events. Let's talk about as far as we talked about events. Let's dive into what it actually means for a family or individual in crisis. I mean, Catholic Charities is obviously in their corner. Can you share a story, without names? Can you give us I mean, and that could be these recent events, but something that just kind of captures what the organization's doing.
So, whenever someone enters our care, they will meet with a case manager first. The case managers will ask a series of questions just to understand the best way we can help them. Um, as we've already discussed, every client is different with unique needs. We are monitoring the environment. If we're seeing, oh, you know what, we're going to have to beef up the food pantry because that's what we're hearing, or we will offer services in one space so that they can focus on the other. So, we're going to give you, $100 in groceries so that you can fix your car and get to work. You can spend
Yeah.
that 100 there. So there really truly is a holistic approach to what we do. There can be trauma for some people. That's what we're experiencing in the communities that we're doing outreach to right now that were impacted by the flooding. Those two communities specifically have already experienced a lot. They are still areas that um, that where, the individuals and the families and the seniors, may have already suffered a setback. So, we've been in Kerrville for a year every week, and Uvalde, we were in there recently for with counseling services, so for them to be impacted again by now another round of flooding, the needs shift,
Yeah.
and that's where the case manager comes in. Did somebody in Uvalde, um, get their house flooded out? And how is their mental health from 4 years ago? Are they doing okay? Do we need to set them up with our grace counseling? And so there is really truly come, we're here to help you. We're not judging you. We just want to help you. Where can we start? And then the conversation starts from there.
I think this is a good time where we kind of hone in on those two areas. Let's you're seeing it firsthand. I am not. I'm a guy that will drive down the highway and not realize what you guys are doing behind the scenes out in those hills of the hill country with Kerrville or down south on the plains with Uvalde. Let's talk Kerrville first. What are y'all seeing? I mean, ground zero, so to speak. You kind of teased me before we started recording the show. I think it's important for the audience to, what's going on over there.
So a year ago, we all know that most of the devastation was along the river.
Yeah,
This time, the devastation is within the city. Low water crossings and creeks overflowed. So there's parts of the city that are covered in mud. And if it's covered in mud outside, there's probably a possibility that it's in homes and it's in businesses as well. So we remain there. We've been there for a year. Notre Dame Catholic Church has been generous to give us some space for our case managers and for us to hold inventory
oh,
so that
great.
we can help people immediately. And so, circumstances not only change in our environment, they change in our families as well. We had a client that while I was there on Friday that was just very, very upset and distraught because her husband had passed away
Uh,
and her brother had moved out of the area. So she was alone this time around and she did not even know where to begin. So our case managers come in and say, okay, let's take things one step at a time. let's get your house livable before, anything worse happens. So that's the conversation that's happening for someone like that.
You've got two different aspects of what happened last year and this year. Are these individuals seeking you out? Are you seeking them out? Or do you just kind of have an outpost there at that church? What's going on with
So
that?
a little bit of all of it. So
Okay.
they know we're in the community. We've got plentiful signage. We do outreach like with partners like you to just get the word out. Hey,
Yeah.
we're here. This is where you can get help. Come in, meet with a case manager. Of course, the word is just out in the community in general of all of the partner nonprofits and agencies that are there to assist that community.
The if you're listening to the show, everybody, reach out to Catholic Charities, look them up online, follow them on those social media handles that we talked about: Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube. The number for them is 210-222-1294. And you're probably going to be listening to this on a Saturday afternoon, evening, and give them a call. If you know anybody that needs some help, share that information with them. Or if you are, in one of these areas that were devastated, let's see what we can do to help you out and get some awareness.
So I
Or,
want to add something to
yeah,
that I haven't said. On our website, we have an email down at the bottom, and it's info@ccaosa.org. You
yeah,
can put an email, or you can send us an email. We do have somebody that checks that email account daily during the week for sure. We are down a little bit of staff right now because everybody's dispersed where they need to be. So, but send us an email. We forward that to our program directors and say, "Hey, can you reach out to this person?"
and they're on it.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, if you go to the website, I'm right here at the ccaosa.org for their site, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you got the phone number. You have everything: the social media handles.
Mhm.
You got the phone number. You got the web address, or I'm sorry, the email to reach out for some help and support there. So please take a look at that, see what you can do to help, or if you need help, and they'll be there to take care of it for you. Now, we talked about Kerrville a little bit and what you guys are doing there. Uvalde, I mentioned to you while we were catching up before the show. I had to drive down to Piedras Negras, and which is the Eagle Pass border, and I had two routes that I would typically take
Mhm.
that were blocked, and I had to go all the way down to Carrizo Springs. Not a big deal, but, when I was coming back Sunday, and I didn't mention this to you a minute ago, I'm driving back down the route because the
Mhm.
water had subsided, and I see the trees, and I can see, how significant that rain event and that water that was in the area, that
Mhm.
shut everything down. What's going on in Uvalde? Give us an idea, because you basically, I called it an armada. Y'all were ready to go and went down there and had an escort, right?
Correct. So, we were requested on Wednesday, "We need you here, we need you here as fast as possible," but the first rule in any kind of disaster response is we can't go into a community until we can get out of the community. So, sure enough, the flooding had increased Wednesday evening. We left first thing in the morning on Saturday, and we do have a little bit of an armada. We have a mobile relief unit that has a USDA certified kitchen and a storage room. We did not take that because we knew we were gonna be traveling on smaller roads and it would not travel
Yeah.
as well. However, we had a box truck with us with numerous, pallets of supplies. We just launched a rapid response unit specifically for this type of disaster if it were to ever happen. So, we just launched it in the last month or 2.
Wow, y'all were ready.
We were ready. We had a very generous board member that said, "You know what? I see the need. I'm watching what you guys are doing. I will buy you the rapid response unit." So it has satellite link up, it has power. There's enough room in there for 2 case managers to meet with clients. It has a storage area. So that one specifically brought boxes of food for families of 4.
Yeah,
And then, of course, we had a passenger van full of staff. So we brought a lot of supplies. We brought the staff to help with case management and setting up an area for first responders to rest. We have cots and blankets and
yeah, yeah,
other things. It's not just cleaning supplies, it can be food stipends until we can, until business is flowing more freely again. And it can also be staff that are there to guide them through. Applying online once it's declared a disaster by the state or the federal government. Our case managers can help with that too.
I'm looking at the site, pulling that up while we're having our discussion, and I see, some really good information. But what I wanted to do is highlight. You'll see at the top of the Catholic Charity San Antonio page, get help, give help events about us as well. So you'll see, and I mean, y'all got everything listed: the Guadalupe Home, Rapid Response Unit, the San Antonio Birth Dulles. I mean, tax preparation, Seton Home, refugee services. You guys are doing a lot. Y'all are carrying a lot of water for people right now. The food pantry. I would imagine y'all work closely with some other nonprofits. Maybe y'all block and
Absolutely.
tackle some stuff as well. Can you give us an example of that?
Sure. So we do partner with our other nonprofits in our area as well. We know that we can't do it alone. Everybody knows that. That's why it's a community of support. So, we are working together as funding is changing as well. But if we can't help somebody, we will refer them to a partner nonprofit.
Okay.
So if someone is experiencing homelessness, we will call our partners and say, "Can you help them?" If someone is, maybe needs, I don't know, medical guidance or something like that, there's a partner out there that can help them. And sometimes those partners are like, "Yes, we can help you from here." Other times it's like, "Let us help you fund this very important program." So we work with our partners in so many different ways, but no matter what, it's to help the individual.
Something just popped in my head that I want to ask you about from just what we were talking a minute ago. You had a very generous donor said, "Hey, mobile unit. I'm going to help you. Let's knock this out." Are there any other things that y'all need out there? I mean, do you need another mobile unit? Do you need, what
Well,
anything like that
yeah.
in the mix?
I always tell we have a new hire meeting every quarter, and I always tell our new hires that when I started, the thing I remember about my first week is I met one of our leaders, and she said, um, "God always knows what we need before we do." So, unbelievably, every time we launched a program, a service, or some aspect of newness to Catholic Charities, there was a disaster immediately after. So, we got our mobile relief unit and then we were reuniting families at the border in 2018. We expanded our food pantry, and then COVID happened. We opened our counseling office, and then the Uvalde tragedy happened. So this time it was the rapid response unit.
Okay.
We just launched it in the last month or two, and it's going back and forth right now as we speak.
And that's is it a van? Is it a
It's like a
SUV or
outfitted van,
okay?
but yes, we have satellite connectivity. So if all the power and internet had been down, our rapid response unit could have been anywhere in any community to make sure everybody could stay connected.
The Starlink that I've got has
Hmm.
come in very handy
I bet it
when
has. It's for us too.
when we travel, or my wife works from home. Sometimes I'll home office it,
Hmm.
and the power just decides to go out, or maybe the internet, so to speak, and that connection. Man, that goes a long way because we're in a digital era.
It's a very techy unit.
That's pretty cool.
So it's been such a blessing that we got it when we did, so that we could respond as we are now.
Can you? I want to wrap up with some stuff here in a minute with a few more questions that I've got. But is there anything that we're missing? Anything that you wanted to make sure that you got it? We've been promoting the website. We've been talking about what you guys have been doing here locally. Y'all have a complete list, of options, or not options, but what y'all are doing for the community. Anything that you think that we need to maybe stress again for maybe those listeners that are just now joining us on the line?
Well, we try to keep our website with a get help, give help. So, get help, absolutely. There's a list of programs from conception to natural death that can help anyone when they are pregnant through San Antonio birth doulas, right up to adopt a senior for seniors that are isolated and lonely. And we do encourage our community to get involved with us. We've had people who have come and volunteered with us. There's a gentleman that suffers from homelessness, but he's very responsible and he will help us stock our food shelves on a Saturday. because he just wants to give back for all the
Wow.
help that we give him during the week. So, we encourage people to get involved. I am happy to give a tour of our agencies. I also oversee our volunteer team. So they are always welcoming people to come in and serve with us. And then, of course, partner organizations will come to us and say, "We want to get involved in your back to school fair. We're going to give you bags and, pencil cases." So there's so many ways to get involved, even if you need help, but you want to give help as well. We're here.
Not listening. I'm talking to Tara Ford with Catholic Charities. She's the Chief Development Officer. If you're just tuning in, we've been talking about Catholic Charities San Antonio, talking about what's going on, all the services that they do. We probably need another show to discuss every single service, from the food pantry to after school rapid response units that they've got in place now for like what we saw last week in the Hill Country in South Texas. Um, and make sure you go and Google them or look them up online, Catholic Charity San Antonio. As a reminder, if you're like, Justin, just give me the website. It's ccaosa.org. And you can go there or you can give them a call at 210-222-1294. And Tara also brought up the email address that's listed at the bottom of the web page or any page that you get on the website, info at ccaosa.org. Email them. Maybe you just don't have time to call. I mean, some people, are in work in town and they're in secure environments, or the cell phone coverage just isn't the greatest, but you can hear us on the radio, or maybe you can still internet at some point. Take a look at what they've got online. They've got some excellent stuff that they're doing for the community. I hate to say this, but we're going to have more tragedies and situations come up, and whatever we can do to support organizations like Catholic Charities will absolutely help and prepare us for that next unfortunate event, whatever it could be, because it's been all over the board the past decade here for San Antonio and South Texas. Um, the Mad Insurance Show, typically we talk about, articles and everything else going on in the insurance industry for making a difference in insurance, but you're listening to our nonprofit segment here, and it's been a treat, basically learning on what Catholic Charities is doing. I'm going to wrap up with a few questions, Tara, to wrap up our show. Um, what does it actually mean for a family or individual in crisis to have Catholic Charities in their corner? Actually, I already brought that up. The next question was for a business or employer listening right now. What's the most meaningful way they can partner with Catholic Charities? Beyond a check or an annual gala or just all of it combined. Let's reach out to that. I want to have some clips that we'll pull from this show, for that business community. Can we talk about that?
Sure. So our business partners assist us in so many different ways. Sometimes they will call us and say, "Hey, I want to bring my team out. Can we come out and volunteer?" Absolutely. It will be up to us to find the right volunteer opportunity for that group. We were contacted yesterday by an organization, and they were specifically interested in what the fleet looked like, and they wanted to share our pictures. So I sent them some pictures and explained how we use them. So our partners have different interests as well. Some
Yeah.
want to say we can do a food drive or we can do a school supply drive. So there's ways for organizations to get involved that way. We also have special events where we do fundraising. We're about to have our signature fundraising event in December, and I know it's July, but it will be
Yeah.
here before we know it.
Before we know it.
It is the event of the season, and we get all our partners in a room. You know, um, we have about 1,100 people that join us to support our mission. They sponsor the event, and that money is unrestricted, so we never know what we could be looking at the next year. Yes, we are monitoring our environment to see if we need to launch new programs, but I don't think any of us imagined that Kerrville could flood again. So, that unrestricted funding gives us the flexibility to provide support to programs or to launch a new program depending on whatever the needs are happening in the community. Organizations can call us and say, "Hey, we want to donate um, pencil pouches to your
Yeah.
back to school fair." So it can look different for everyone. Let's just start the conversation. Everybody has something that's important to them personally. We've
Okay.
had an organization. whose grandfather was a resident at our St. PJ's Children's Home
Okay.
uh, in the early 1900s. So,
Oh, wow.
that's a particular program that's important to that person. So they will support us with financial donations. Or they'll come out and bring dinner to our kiddos so they're not eating out of our cafeteria. It's still fun to get pizza
It is.
or tacos or
And it's
whatever the
easy.
case, and it's easy. So there's so many ways for an organization to get involved. Contact me, ask for Tara Ford, and we'll have a conversation about what is meaningful to you in terms of giving back, and how can we line up our mission to what's meaningful to you.
Please reach out to Catholic Charities if you're a business owner or have a business and want to get your employees or a particular department involved. It will be welcomed with with open arms on what you can do, and maybe we're missing something. Maybe you guys, hey, a somebody that reaches out, hey, I can help with this. Oh wow, we didn't even think of that. Let us know. I mean,
Yes.
reach out to us and give us some insight off of that. That's more for the business employer, listening. I think we want to wrap up right now. Hey, just the average listener that's needing help or wanting help or wanting to see how they can get involved. Is it again just reaching out, checking the website, getting dialed in with the social media of what y'all have listed online? That's really how the individual can reach out and talk. Correct?
Absolutely. So everything we have online is just it's a running conversation about where we are and what we're doing right now. Right now, the need is to reach out to the flood impacted communities and get them the supplies they need. We have that on our website. We don't have a need for volunteers in those communities right now, but we might.
Yeah.
So, we want people to volunteer or to do a drive for cleaning supplies or food. Our food pantry can never have enough food. So that's an easy way to get involved as well. But if there's something else that's important to an individual or a business or group, just let us know and we'll be happy to have a conversation about, the best way for them to get involved.
Very cool. I'm going to wrap up the show here in just a minute, and I'll give those details for Catholic Charities one more time. I cannot thank y'all enough for listening or watching us online. Again, we've had Catholic Charities San Antonio here. Chief Development Officer Tara Ford has joined us to review some stuff. I'm going to sprinkle in just a few teasers of some news that you guys need to be aware of, specifically to the health insurance industry, and one of them is a article that I came across on Gallup. 1 in 4 US employers are locked in jobs, employees, I'm sorry, locked into jobs for the health insurance, for the benefits. I just had somebody reach out to me over the weekend, say, "Hey, Justin, I just can't stay here, but I'm landlocked with this employer because of the benefits I need for my family." We provided some solutions, and it definitely came in the nick of time to where they can make some adjustments and do the changes that they need there. So a lot of great employers out there. They're doing the best they can to make sure the insurance is affordable in most cases for the employees. But make sure you reach out to us if that's affecting you. A couple other things that I wanted to bring up that I found out online is that Fidelity article that I found on CNBC, 2026 retirees may spend $185,500 on healthcare. One category may push those costs higher. So the cost of insurance for those that are 65 and older, we're seeing some significant changes. Okay. And you want to make sure that you reach out to us to just have a game plan. And I'm not just talking about this fall, everybody. I'm talking about having a 36-month, 48 months, 60-month game plan on what to expect. That's what we're doing for our clients at Texas State Insurance Services. So please don't sleep on that. Let us know if we can help you take a look at preparing for Social Security, what your Medicare costs are going to be, because that's important. The I think we're done. I think I've exhausted some articles. We've talked about Catholic Charities. Anything I'm missing, Tara, that you can think of?
Nothing. We're here to be together. That's really the bottom line. We want people to know we're here to serve all people, not just Catholics. And our mission guides us to do the right thing and if we can't help you, we will find somebody to help you. And if you want to get involved, give us a call.
Let's wrap up with letting everybody know where they can reach out to Catholic Charities. We discussed everything from what they're doing down in Uvalde to the Kerrville area with what happened last week. That we saw everything on the news regarding that, and just Mother Nature telling us, who's boss a little bit off of that, and you can't anticipate that, and that's where Catholic Charities comes in and helps, basically support the individuals that need it most in those events and tragedies that come up. But the website again is ccaosa.org. Lots of stuff on there that you can look at, see what organization you might want or what segment of the organization you want to help out with. If you scroll down to the bottom of that page, you can see that they have the handles for their social media for Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. They've got their phone number, which is 210-222-1294. And then they've got the email address info at ccaosa.org. And then you will also can go right back to the top of that page and see the get help, give help icons at the top, and y'all can click those accordingly. Tara, I cannot thank you enough for joining me for a few minutes here on the show. Get some awareness. I hope we reach the people that we need to, and then we'll get some media content that they're online to share and get the word out.
Thank you for having me. We always love to share our mission. Our staff does great work, and we appreciate you allowing us the opportunity to share it today.
Just like the show that I created says, making a difference in insurance. You guys are making a difference in the community, and we can't thank you enough. San Antonio and everybody online, can't thank you for joining us on the show. Have a great week, everybody, or great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care.